see my feet. That's fine. We're going to do mostly a standing practice this morning. I will slow it down a little bit, just go with the flow and we'll see how we go. We're going to start in Tadasana, which is our standing pose, equal standing, so looking for equal weight. We're going to start by bringing the hands together, and you can stand at the front of the mat. Just take a look at your feet, check that they're, it's up to you whether you have your big toes touching or them slightly hip distance, but check that the outside edges of your feet are parallel, so there's a bigger gap between the heels than there is between the toes. And then press down through your feet. Do this with eyes closed so that you can really get a sense of grounding and getting present. So as we lift the toes, you're going to press down through the pad of the big toe and the pad of the little toe. Really get a sensation for that. What does it feel like? And then press into the heels. Do you feel that you bring your weight back slightly? Maybe you have a tendency to bring your weight into your toes. So let's even our weight through our feet. So equal distribution through the pads of the toes and the heels. And then just gently place your toes down onto the mat. Keep that balance, keep that pressure in the feet. And then lift the energy up. So there's going to be muscular contraction here as you press the feet down. Lift your kneecaps and lift your thighs. And as you lift your thighs, tuck your tailbone slightly. So you want to scoop it up, the belly button pulls in. Keep lifting the energy, feel the lower rib cage knit together. And feel the sternum lift and lengthen, and then feel your neck lengthen. Feel your shoulder blades come together down the back. And imagine there's a piece of string on the crown of the head lifting you a little taller. And with the hands at the heart, just going to take a few breaths. Keep that engagement. Maybe you're going to rock from side to side to get a really good sense of where your balance is sitting. It may just be your balance today. It may be a normal behaviour or balance for you. Do you have a tendency to go forward? Do you have a tendency to sink into your body? Do you have a tendency to stand really tall? And this becomes no effort for you. For some of us, this is effort. So observe. Just take 5 deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So in our practice, we tend to engage what we call ujjayi breathing, victorious breath. And the breath helps to build heat in the body, build awareness, raise our energy levels. Ujjayi breath, breathing in through the nose, down the back of the throat. And you can imagine that you are smelling something, that same approach you take when you smell something, maybe a flower, and you breathe it down the back of the throat. When you're breathing out, imagine that you would have your mouth open, but you won't, and that you're misting up a mirror. So you start to get this deep breath through the back of the throat. Some people say it sounds like Darth Vader. And then just check in again now. How are you standing in Tadasana? Let your breath be centered in your heart center. Reflecting on all the good things in your life. The opportunities that are brought to us through this time of isolation. Take another 5 breaths, just reflecting on that. Gently bring your thumbs to your third eye center, honouring the grace and the joy that exists within us all. We say namaste, welcome. Release your hands down beside you, gently open your eyes, and then just take your arms high, sweep them all the way up, look up, and then as you exhale, just gently fold all the way forward, so big. And as you inhale, stand tall, sweep the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, let out a inhale, sweep tall. Exhale. 2 more, inhale. So as you exhale from the pit of your belly, inhale. Exhale. Come to standing. Inhale, arms high. And bring them to your heart. Just checking in that you're stepping and standing at the front of your mat. Take your feet hip distance. Just gently take them apart. Keep pressing down, lift up. Take a breath in and take your arms high. And then fold, exhale. Have your hands to your shins, come to a halfway lift as you inhale, and then fold as you exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, and fold, exhale. 3 more, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Come to a halfway lift, inhale, and step your left foot to the back of the mat. Lower your left knee and sweep your arms high, inhale. Take a breath out. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands to the mat, tuck your left toes under and step your left foot forward, straighten the legs. So you might need to do this up here. Try to square the hips. Wendy, out the way. Pick up your left foot, step it to the back of the mat and come into a lunge. Bring both hands up onto the right knee. You can bring your left knee down. This is completely up to you. I'm just going to move the cat. Come on, darling. She easily moves. So either the toes under or not. Straight leg. And then bring the hands to the mat. We're going to step to downward facing dog. Taking 5 breaths. So you can do this on your knees. Really just, and if you come to the knees, step them back and just stretch out through the spine. You're just going to get that nice stretch, and maybe that's enough for you. If you've got arm problems, you can come down onto your forearms. So everything can be adjusted. You can step it down, you can step it up. So it's all about dialing your practice appropriately for you. It's like setting the dial on a toaster. Take 4 more breaths. Breath in and walk forward to your hands. Into a halfway lift and bow. So halfway lift with the hands on the mat or the shins and bow. 3 more, inhale. The exhale, notice where the weight is. Should be in the heels more. Inhale up. Or more balance, just not in the toes, and exhale, fold. One more, inhale. Fold, exhale. With a flat back, come all the way up to standing. Inhale. Bring your hands to your heart center, close your eyes. Take 3 breaths. Breathing into your heart center. Be equally balanced on your feet. Lift your thighs. Take your arms high, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift. Pick up your right foot and step it back. Bring the right knee down. And take the arms high. So breath in. Bring the hands down, exhale. Pick up your right foot, step it forward, and come into pyramid pose. So again, your hands may be on your leg. Bring a slight bend so that you don't lock that leg and put too much pressure on the knee. But taking the pressure out of the knee by really hugging into your belly and bringing the shoulder blades down the back. Another 4 breaths. And then lift your head, step that right foot to the back of the mat and come into a lunge. Both hands on top of that left knee. So again, your back leg can be down, or you can be up on the toes. Watch the weight in your left foot. So it might, if it comes forward into the toes too much, it's almost like you're lifting the heel off. Just bring it back. So use the pelvis to bring the weight back. Hug into the belly. Take a breath in. Bring your hands to the mat and step it back. Downward facing dog. So again, modifying dialing up or dialing down in downward dog for you. You might want to come to child's pose. So just do whatever adjustments you need to do. Three more breaths. Bring your big toes to touch. Come out to a high plank position. You're going to spin your heels to the right or drop your right knee to the mat as you come into side plank. So if you are spinning the feet, the toes touch, we spin our heels, open up to the side. Take a breath in, come over to your high plank, and we go to the other side. So either bring the left knee down or spin your heels. Two more breaths. As you exhale, look down and step into downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths. Take a breath in and come high on your toes. Empty out and walk forward to your hands. Come to a halfway lift, so hands to shins or floor. And bow, exhale. Press down and rise to standing, inhale. Bring your hands to your heart center, close your eyes and take 3 breaths. Breathing into the heart. Release your hands beside you, press down. Take the arms high, inhale. And bow forward, exhale. Pick up your left foot and step it to the back of the mat. Come into a lunge. Again, you can bring your knee down or stay on the toes. Lift from the pelvis. Bring your arms around behind you, interlace the fingers so the heart lifts. Release the hands. Bring the hands to the mat, step that right foot in and come into, or your left foot, pyramid pose. Just working on our heart centre and a little bit of the inner thighs. You're going to lift and come to a halfway lift. Pick up your back foot, step it back, and then turn around to face the front. Turn the toes outwards, and then you're going to come up into goddess pose. So you can sit as low as you can, as comfortable. Just watch that you're not sticking your butt out. We just want to tuck it under. Use your inner thighs to hold you here. Press into the heels. Breath in. And you're going to fold forward. So push the weight into the toes. Spin your heels out so you're pigeon-toed and fold forward. Taking a hold around your ankles, take a halfway lift, inhale, flat back here. So try not to bend at your belly button, and then just bring your head down towards the floor as much as you can. You can have your hands here if this is more comfortable. You should be getting a nice stretch through your hamstrings. So your hip bones want to be in line with your ankle bones. Often our hip bones are way back, so we're just going to bring them forward. And that might depend on how you position your feet. So if your feet are pointed out, it gets a lot harder. And you just slowly start to turn your toes in. 5 more breaths. Take an inhale and halfway lift. Walk your fingers round to the front of the mat. Step to the front of the mat, take your feet hip distance and forward fold. Take hold of your big toes with your peace fingers, halfway lift. And bow, exhale. Release your toes, bring your feet together. Rise to standing with a flat back, arms high. Hands to heart, close your eyes, take 3 breaths. Again, breathe into your heart space. Reflecting on all of the good things in your life, the opportunities that isolation brings to us. Breath out. Take your arms high, inhale. Bow forward. Pick up your left foot, step it to the back. Come back into a lunge. So again, you can drop your knee or stay up. Step to the front of the mat. I've been sitting here going my left and right, I've mixed them up. You're going to step the other leg back. There we go. Alright, so lunge, either bring the knee down or not, your choice. Square the hips. Interlace the fingers behind your back, press your knuckles down. So you're getting that openness and expansion through the heart. Take the arms high, inhale. Bring them to the mat or something else to lean on as you step that left foot in and cut right foot, not left foot. And bring your chest down. This is what happens when I try to mirror my left and right. I don't get them. Take 5 breaths. And lift up on an inhale. Step your back foot back and coming back into goddess pose. I'll just move around to face the right direction. So your feet, heels in towards each other, toes pointing out. Walk them in a little bit. Press into the heels. Activate your inner thighs as you come up and take goddess pose. You could be up here. This is really, again, dialing in, dialing out as much as you need to. Take a breath in, sit a little lower, exhale, and then come up, inhale, pivot on your feet so that your heels point out and fold. Take hold of your big toes with your peace fingers, halfway lift and fold. So again, if your hands don't reach the floor, just put them on something or just rest them on the legs, but very gently, don't put pressure on your legs. And take another 5 breaths. Take a breath out, halfway lift, hello, and then turn around to the front of the mat. Step to the front of the mat and place your feet hip distance apart. Place your hands underneath your feet so that the toes come up to the creases in the wrists, halfway lift, and bow, exhale. Going to take 7 breaths. This is a nice practice to lengthen through the backs of your legs. Release your hands, bring your feet together. With a flat back, come all the way to standing. Take your arms high. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes. Take 3 breaths. Again, breathe into the heart. Opportunity to reflect. Opening the eyes, take your arms high, inhale, and bow forward, exhale. Take a halfway lift, step your left leg to the back of the mat. With your right foot, you're going to walk it to the outside edge of your mat, and then you'll turn your foot on a 45-degree angle, so you can drop your left knee. And then you'll roll open up through the hips, a bit of maneuvering through the knee as you open up your knee towards the side. So the inside of your foot, the sole of your foot rolls off. You roll onto the edge of that foot. So again, you can have your knee down, you can stay up on your hands, you can keep your leg lifted, you can come down onto your forearms. So again, dialing through your pose. Come up onto your fingers, lift your toes if you've got your knee down. Walk your foot back in. Step your left foot flat, and we're going to straighten this front leg and just come up. So we're setting ourselves up for Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Heel and heel are in line. Notice if your hips are going this angle, let's just lift them up a little bit so we can lift up. Take your arms parallel. Shoulders relaxed. Lengthen forward and tilt. So I quite often teach this hand down, so a lot of us are tight in the shoulders. So we take the arm up, we end up all crunched. So work out if that's the best thing for you. And then you want to turn your rib cage around. Turn the hips around so everything stacks. And you can be up here with your hand here. You can be down, your arm high, and anywhere in between. Just another 4 breaths. Breath out. So your inhale is going to bring you up. Turn to face the front of your mat. Step forward. Feet together, hands to heart. Close your eyes. Take 3 breaths. Keep bringing your breath back to your heart space. Back to honouring the things that are good in your life. The opportunities. Take your arms high, inhale. And take a bow forward, exhale. Halfway lift. Right foot steps to the back of the mat this time. So we've just done this. You can bring the right knee down if you did the other side. Walk the left foot out. Open it up. Stay on your hands. Some of you might want to lift your chest and take a bit of a turn. Gaze down. We're going to transition forward triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Back foot spins flat. Come up, both legs straight. Check that your heels are in line with each other. Lift from the belly. Bring your arms parallel to the floor. Press through the tips of your fingers while you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now tilt forward and land wherever you need to land. Honestly, you do not have to go far in this pose. If we could try to go too far, what happens is we'll often bring the chest forward, we'll bend this knee. It's all about alignment. So it's not about how far you think you need to go or where you think you should be. It's about what does it feel like in your body this morning? Where can you dial up and where you can dial back? I say this morning, but it's only because it's morning when I'm doing this. Four more breaths. Keep tugging into your belly, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, come on up. Turn to face the front. Step to the front of the mat. Hands to heart. Close your eyes. Take 3 breaths. Take your arms high, inhale. And bow forward, exhale. Halfway lift. Step to the back of the mat. So you're coming into high plank, and your options here are to bring your knees to the mat or stay up high plank. And then we lower down all the way for 5, 4, 3, out the way, 2, 1, gently coming down. So bring your hands beside your shoulders, lift your heart, press into the tops of your feet. I'm sure I'm not the only one that gets cat in the face. 4 more breaths. Beautiful back bends opening up through the chest, and then just gently lower down to the mat. Bring one ear to the mat, let your arms rest beside you. Especially if you have a tendency to tighten up through the neck and shoulders, really important to have that break. And then we'll do another set, but we actually come into Salabhasana, locust pose. So bring your arms out to a 45 degree from the body, turn the palms down and pull the shoulders back so you lift your heart. Take a breath out and then lift up arms and legs, fly. It's a little bit like Superman. So you can move side to side, but just gentle movements. Feeling what is involved in the movement when you move your body. And then gently come down, bring your other ear to the mat. And then come up again. Lengthen through the neck. Two more breaths. And then gently lower down, other ear to the mat. And then press up onto your knees. And we just scoot around into a seated position. Take both legs out in front of you. Sit up tall. Lift your inner thighs to the outer edges of your mat. If you're tight in the hamstrings and lower back, please sit on something, a cushion, whatever that is for you. Bend your knees so you can get this nice long back. Dandasana, staff pose. It's a little bit like the pose we started with at the beginning of class, Tadasana, mountain pose. So grounding through your seated positions. Tadasana is grounding through your standing. And again, there's a little bit of effort to stay, to be truly seated, to be truly present. And take your arms high, inhale. Just begin to come forward, you don't have to go far. Don't let the arms guide the movement. So in many ways, just having the arms, the waist or the hips as you come forward, and feel the movement coming from the pelvis. Hands can rest wherever they rest. On the inhale, bend your right leg, bring the sole of the foot to the inside of your left leg. And again, wherever that lays, if this is quite tight for you on knees, just take it down a notch, maybe put a bit of support under here. Turn your chest towards your left foot, and then just come on forward. So again, just go as far as you need to go. If you do have that tightness through the legs and the hips, just back it off. And we'll take the Pravrita Janusarasana. So this is to open up your side body. Take the left hand to the inside of that left leg, turn. This may be as far as you go. It's turning the chest. Taking the right arm up, you may place it behind your head, and you might keep it here, or you might reach over. This is just work with it, just stretching through the side of the body. Come on up, and we'll do the other side. So take your left foot to the inside of your right leg. Again, modify placing that foot or something underneath your knee. And then lengthening forward. Fingers up, Pravrita Janusarasana, twisted variations, right hand to the inside of your right leg, press your left sitting bone down, lift your heart, and then start to creep your right hand forward, differing placements with your left arm, but as you reach over, just feel the stretch through the left side of the body, so that left sitting bone down, rib cage turning, belly active, and pressing the right heel and the back of the right leg down. Come on up, inhale, and let's take both legs wide. My little thing when I get a little crimp in my left hip. I'm just going to go straight forward. So you may stay here. As you press through the heels, point the toes and the kneecaps to the sky and press the backs of the legs down. You should feel a nice stretch. And you may have your legs quite narrow because that's where you're working. Just go with that. Or you may be quite, have your legs wide, you might have that little bit more flexibility. So staying seated up here or just walking your fingers forward. So as you come forward, keep pressing the heels down so that your feet don't roll forward with you. And just go as far as you can go comfortably. Take another 5 breaths. Place your hands underneath your knees. I think this is turtle, not tortoise. I always get myself a little bit confused. So you may do this or you may not do this. You may just stay here. You may stay up here. It's really up to you. You can take your arms underneath. The idea is that the arms, for those of you who do my classes will know we don't do this too often and we don't take it too deep. So you can bring your arms underneath your legs come out, face down, your hands point towards the back of the room. So it's just another hip shoulder opener for you, possibly a little intense, so we'll just take 3 more breaths. And then wherever you are, just coming out, and we'll come into a seated position. Comfortable seated position, so you might want to sit on something. We'll just do a little bit of breath work and then you'll come down onto your back for Shavasana. First we'll do is just counting our breath, then we'll do a little bit of Nadi Shodhana and then you'll come down onto your mat for Shavasana. So take a breath out, close your eyes, just let your hands rest comfortably, make sure your shoulders are soft. Press the sitting bones down onto your mat and lift your heart. So as you're breathing, imagine your breath filtering through your heart space. And we'll take a breath out together. Hold that empty breath. And then breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold your in-breath. And breathe out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And breathe out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. Breathe in 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. And breathe out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. One more round. Breathe in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And breathe out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Natural breath. Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. You'll use your right hand. Your thumb will block the right nostril, your ring finger, the left nostril. In Nadi Shodhana, we breathe in the left, out the right, in the right, and out the left. There's lots of variations you can start to apply to this breath, or just stay with the simple Nadi Shodhana. If it feels difficult when you're doing it, just take a break. Remember the first time I did it, I really struggled. So take a breath out, block the right nostril, breathe in the left. Block your left nostril and see if you can hold the breath for a moment, and then breathe out through the right nostril, releasing the thumb. Hold. Breathe in through your right nostril. Block the right nostril. Release your ring finger and breathe out through the left. Breathe in left. Breathe out right. Breathe in right. Breathe out left. Breathe in left. And breathe out right. Breathe in right. And breathe out left. Breathe in left. Breathe out right. Breathe in right. And breathe out left. Breathe in left. Breathe out right. Breathe in right. Breathe out left. Release your right hand to your lap, turn the palms up. Keep Your eyes closed, just take 5 breaths, breathing in and out through your heart center. Bring the palms of your hands together. Gently roll down onto your back, taking Shavasana, eyes closed, palms face up, chin gently towards your chest, and just take each breath as an opportunity to breathe in goodness, and on the exhale, just releasing anything that's holding you back or not serving you well at this moment in time. Keep that mantra, that thought flowing through as you breathe in and as you breathe out. I'm going to stay here just a few minutes. Reading entitled Awareness in the Mind. Behind changing mental fluctuations is a constant awareness, an unbroken sense of self or being, an ongoing ability to observe, witness and perceive. Though the contents of the mind constantly shift like clouds in the sky, there is ongoing continuity to our consciousness, like the purity of space, through which we can observe these with detachment. Therefore, the mind itself is not awareness. It is the instrument that awareness works through, like a computer a person works with. Awareness, unlike the mind, has no form, function, or movement. It is not located in time and space, but stands apart as their witness. It is not affected by action and remains free of good and bad results. To know this awareness, we must learn to go beyond the mind, which means disengage from its involvements. This is our real work as human beings, and the essence of the spiritual path, whatever form of it we choose to follow. As long as though we are in the sphere of the mind, we are dominated by the external and cannot know the inner reality. True awareness is pure consciousness beyond the mental field. Our ordinary awareness is conditioned within the mental field. Only because the light of pure awareness is reflected onto the mental field does the mind appear to be conscious. The mind itself, therefore, is not aware. It works through the reflection of a greater light, a greater consciousness, in which alone is understanding and freedom. We must learn to seek that pure light behind the mind. One morning at the end of my practices, I turned my eyes upward toward the middle of my forehead, and my mind dissolved into joy. seeking the light beyond the mind. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Reach your arms up overhead and take a big stretch. Find your way up to a comfortable seated position. And then once you're there, bringing the palms of your hands together again to Anjali Mudra, and let them rest against your heart, seat of your joy, seat of your love. Breathe into that heart space, lift your heart to the sky, let it shine forward. Let it create lightness in your day, in your week, in the days ahead. Gently bring your thumbs to your third eye center, and honouring the joy and light that exists within each and every one of us, we bow forward and say Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Have fun and joy.